And I don't care if you like me. I don't care if you like what I have to say. You ring my number. I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. I'm going to tell you what you need to hear. If you don't like it, well, bring someone else. I'm not here to be your friend. I'm here to help you change your life, and also here to help you show your families how to bring that person to that point. Is that okay? I can't hear you. Yes. And when I talk, I would really like interaction. Is that okay? Yes. I can't hear. Yes. Much better.
There's story after story after story, lives being transformed, radically transformed. But it's not just the life of one individual, it's the lives of entire families, extended families that are radically transformed by the work that's actually being done in Shalom. But we build our community and we build lives for families one person at a time. And that's the work that Pete's doing.
After hearing Peter on Sunshine FM, we believe he's the right person. This is the right place to bring Aaron out of his state of mental illness. I've come with Aaron and my wife to hear Peter share what he's learned in his journey from where he's been to where he is today, to how he's established Shalom home as a place for men to be restored, for families to be restored, and this is the driving force that's motivated us to be here today. It's an hour's drive for us, and we're very thankful that it's available to us. Very thankful.
If you don't know me, my name's Peter. I run Shalom House Men's Rehabilitation Centre. I actually didn't mean to start a rehab. I called it a discipleship house, Shalom Discipleship House. But I got sick of explaining the word discipleship and rehabilitation, so I waved my flag, I gave in, and now I run a rehab. But it was actually discipleship.
I think it's an interest in finding out more about the impact that addiction is having on our community.
What's driven me to be here today is absolute desperation, devastation, and perhaps finding a new way to sort of help my sons and maybe ourselves as a family to try and keep the family together.
On the worst day of my life, Jay turned violent towards his sister in a rage. He damaged furniture in my house. While I'm sure he did not intend to hurt me, he threw me out of the way and cracked one of my ribs. We had to call the police. In a terrifying moment, I watched as they used a taser to subdue my son. Watching your child fold in that manner is nothing I ever want or witness again. In fairness, the police were brilliant, and went to great efforts to make sure my daughter and I were okay. And I think they only did what was necessary to provide safety for us.
I was driven to come today to support my son because we want to help him in every way we can and to find out more about this terrible addiction.
I want in my house, I want love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness. I want everybody to have a good atmosphere in my house. And the only way we're going to have that if every person in my house actually puts towards making that environment happen. Would you agree? And it's not too much to ask as a parent. Do not spare the rod from your child. If you spare the rod from your child, you're actually programming that person. They have no right to expect anything from you or demand anything from any way, shape or form. It's just not okay. How we learn is through the consequences of our choices. You really need to draw a line in the sand. You can see then, he started, okay, accept a lie as a truth. He doesn't tell anybody. It goes from once a day to every day. It starts to increase. People are smoking methamphetamines nowadays like they are cannabis. Methamphetamines is different. It actually has claws on it. Now what happens is you have the wife, you have the mum and dad of the male, and then you have the family members. As this person goes through this process, and the C and the D, the mum and the dad and everybody around them can actually see that person changing. They can see their thinking changing, their speech changing, the way that they communicate changes, and they can see their finances going downhill. Who knows someone like that? And so they start putting their 20 cents in, and yet the person's only telling them what they want to hear, not what they need to hear. And often families think they're doing the right thing, and actually, in fact, they're doing the wrong thing. And you can see unforgiveness, bitterness, resentment. They blame everybody else for why they are like they are. They live life the victim. And what happens is the train, it starts picking up speed. It gets faster and faster and faster. And then till one day, all of a sudden, they hit the brick wall, ends in a big finale. Mum and Dad, they ring them. Mum, Dad, I need your help. Mum and Dad have been waiting for this time for a long period of time, so they put the Wonder Woman outfit on, and they chuck the cape on, they run out, they grab him, they bring him home, they put him in bed, he sleeps for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. Meanwhile, they're going through the yellow pages, ringing every Tom, Dick and Harry to get every rehabilitation centre they can. They've rang them all, and then after day 4, he wakes up, brushes his teeth, has a feed. Oh, Mum, I just got to drop the phone off up the road, I'll be back in a sec. And he goes like a dog to the vomit and a pig to the mud. Who's had that? Everyone here, of course you have. Often families think they're doing the right thing, and in actual fact they're doing the wrong thing. When that person gets off at addiction and they get off the stuff, we still have family members full of unforgiveness, bitterness, resentment, anger. Mum and Dad don't talk anymore. Brothers and sisters don't want nothing to do with him. Everyone's written him off. But they are part to blame. You are part to blame by the way that you've actually handled it. You thought you're doing the right thing, but you're doing the wrong thing. Like me, you would have had two voices inside you. Don't let him in the home. Oh, but you can't, he's your son. You let him in the home, you listen to the D. When you listen to the D, everything that's in him starts operating through him. You know it's not the son that you actually brought up, it's different, it's a different person. And D is really, really real. Demons are really, really real. Spirits are really, really real. But I'm not saying you give up on your loved one. What I am saying is set boundaries. Don't be foolish. It's okay to help your loved one in prison. It's okay to visit your loved one. It's okay still to catch up with them when they're using drugs. It's okay. It's okay to go to their house. It's okay to buy them a meal. But you don't give them any money. You don't pay any bills. You don't buy any clothes for them. But when they make a choice to actually change, or when they get in a position like he is, where he's changing, there's no... you come alongside him and just, okay, dust him off, encourage him, put life in him. Say, come on, son, try again. Come on, son, try again.
Along Paul's journey, we've done a few things wrong by enabling him to continue on the path he was on, by supplying money. And, he always knew that we loved him, but we should have, I think we could have done things a little differently, like not paying off drug debts and stuff like that. I was just thinking, gee, I did that. Shouldn't have. Regretful. We thought giving him his own space to do stuff in was the best thing, whereas we should have just kept saying we love you, We just tried to help him. That's all. We thought we were helping. Instead, I think we were doing the wrong thing by enabling him.
Yeah, I really still don't have too many regrets, because we've got to this stage, and this was always our end goal, was to, when the program's finished, of course, but this was always our end goal, and we got there, and basically we may have taken the long route, but we did actually get there, and so maybe we were the lucky ones.
The problem is, if the message that they have to proclaim is actually true, how do we communicate what we know to be true without sticking religion down someone's throat? The whole of Shalom is about presenting truth in a way that a person can understand it. We actually fit in with a religious mob, we fit in with a Christianese mob, we also fit in with a who don't give a flying flopper mob. If a person believes a lie as a truth, that lie becomes their truth. And what's in a person operates through a person and heads that person in the direction of what's operating through them. I honestly specialise in two things. The first thing I specialise in is showing fellas how to change their life. The other thing I do is I show families how to bring a person to the end of themselves, where they make the decision to want to change their life because they want to make the decision. Now, what I do with these 5 fingers, I try to get all these 4 here together. I get the wife, the mum, the dad, the brother, the sister, and a lot of them don't want nothing to do with the person anymore, but I get them all together and I tell them what I'm telling you. I'm telling them they've got to do it differently. There's normally one strong person out of that batch that is qualified to make the decisions. And I try to get that one person, I say, right, from now on, you're the decision maker. The rest of you submit to this person. You don't gossip, you don't backstab about each other, you don't talk behind each other's back. That person's making the decisions is the one that actually got to make the hard decisions. You respect that person. Get rid of the division, the bitterness, the resentment, and we get that person to call the shots. When that person does hit the brick wall and ends in a big finale and he's bawling his eyes out crying, You've got to say, hey, son, I'm not qualified to help you, but these people are. And then you hang up the phone, you leave them out in the street. He knows the battery acid that he's sitting in his system. He knows the chemicals he's sitting in his system. He's having fun. That's his choice. He's a grown man now. It's his choice. It is sad to see him making stupid choices. It is sad, and it hurts. If you're going to bring a person into the house, and if you do want to have a go at it, at bringing a person in the house, I got this thing called a Memorandum of Understanding. So you get that team together, and if that person is really, really serious, and you're going to come in my house, you've got to set boundaries. And so on a Memorandum of Understanding, I'd put on this, hey, you're not allowed to have a mobile phone. I want 4 random neurone tests a week. I want you to see a counsellor. I don't want you to actually have contact with any people from your past in any way, shape or form. I want you to productively look for a job. I want you to actually be a part of the solution in the house where they're doing the dishes. This is everything that I want from you. Now, if you want to come in my home, you need to agree to all this. And if you do use drugs, this is how we're going to respond. If you do this, this is how we're going to respond. If you do this, this is how we're going to respond. And do you agree? Yeah, I agree. Now, I want you to actually have a part in this. And you ask them, hey, is there anything I can do from you as this process unfolds? And get them so 2 people can have a memorandum of understanding, a working document between 2 parties, and both of you sign it. And if you do want to be a person that brings them in the house, follow that document. Make sure you get it on a piece of paper before you bring them in the house, and that way you're actually coming alongside them, you're setting them boundaries, and if something does go skew iffy, you put in a plan of attack, how to respond. Do you agree? And you've got to make sure you stick to it.
I know Pete already said today it affects the whole family. We know that as a family. And one thing I feel today is I want to get this information to the rest of the family because there's a lot of bitterness in the family. One family member has just gone, won't come today. Won't come today. Why should I take time out of my agenda, my life, my timetable to go? So this family member has become very bitter. So we realise now as a family we have to somehow minister this to the rest of the family to realise that, okay, we've got to set boundaries, but we've got to still show love and forgiveness and show him that there's hope. If you just totally chop the person, well then there's no hope.